Ready for the CDCS challenge? Let's see how many you can get right. Questions are related to invoice and all are very basic questions. Question 1. A documentary credit requires invoice in 2 originals. The beneficiary presents a document titled Pro Forma Invoice, showing all required commercial details. What is the correct conclusion? A. Complying, because the credit did not specifically require a commercial invoice. B. Complying, because invoice includes any type of invoice. C. Discrepant, because an invoice is not to be identified as pro forma or similar. D. Complying, provided the applicant accepts the document. You have 10 seconds to answer these questions. Answer, C. Why? Under ISBP 821C1A, when a credit requires an invoice without further description, various types of invoices may satisfy the requirement, but the invoice must not be identified as provisional, pro forma, or the like. Always remember this. Let's move to next question. Question 2. The credit requires commercial invoice. The beneficiary presents a document titled Invoice. The document contains a statement issued for tax purposes. What is the correct conclusion? A. Discrepant because the title is not commercial invoice. B. Discrepant because a tax-related statement changes the nature of the document. C. Complying. D. Discrepant unless the document also states commercial invoice. You have 10 seconds to answer this. Answer, C. Why? ISBP C1B specifically provides that when a credit requires a commercial invoice, a document titled Invoice satisfies the requirement, even when it states that it has been issued for tax purposes. Question 3. The credit identifies the beneficiary as ABC Exports Ltd. Before presentation, the beneficiary legally changes its name to XYZ Global Exports Ltd. The invoice is issued in the new name and states formerly known as ABC Exports Ltd. What is the correct conclusion? A. Discrepant because the invoice must always be issued in the exact name appearing in the credit. B. Complying. C. Discrepant unless the credit is amended. D. Complying only if the applicant confirms the name change. You have 10 seconds to answer this question. Answer, B. Why? Under ISBP C2B, where the beneficiary has changed its name and the credit mentions the former name, the invoice may be issued in the new entity's name if it indicates formerly known as the beneficiary's former name or words of similar effect. Question 4. Credit description. 500 metric tons prime quality aluminium ingots, alloy 6063, packed in wooden crates. Invoice states aluminium ingots, alloy 6063, prime quality, 500 metric tons, wooden crates. The words appear in a different sequence and are located in different sections of the invoice. What is the correct conclusion? A. Discrepant because the invoice must reproduce the credit description word for word. B. Discrepant because the order of the words differs. C. Complying if the information, when read together, corresponds with the credit. D. Discrepant because the credit description must appear in one continuous field. You have 10 seconds to answer these questions. Answer, C. Why? ISBP C3 expressly states that there is no requirement for a mirror image. Details may appear in different areas of the invoice and, when read together, constitute a corresponding description. Question 5. Credit requires 10 trucks and 5 tractors. Partial shipments are not prohibited. Transport document shows 4 trucks shipped. Invoice shows 4 trucks shipped, as per actual shipment. It also mentions credit description, 10 trucks and 5 tractors. Is the invoice acceptable? A. Yes. B. No, because the invoice must show all goods stated in the credit. C. No, because an invoice cannot show both actual quantity and credit quantity. D. Yes, but only if 5 tractors are also shipped. You have 10 seconds to answer this question. Answer, A. Explanation, under C4, the invoice description is to reflect what was actually shipped. Where partial shipment is not prohibited, the invoice may show 4 trucks, even though the credit calls for 10 trucks and 5 tractors. It may also contain the original credit description. Thank you for watching part 1 of our ISBP 821 Invoice Challenge. If you found these CDCS questions useful, like, share and subscribe to Talks and Views for more practical trade finance and CDCS content. Part 2 is coming soon. Stay tuned, keep learning, and keep challenging yourself.